So, well, doing it Silicon Valley style. Why Silicon Valley? Because it's an IT company, and Silicon Valley is kind of mecca for IT world. Silicon Valley is all about startups. It's all about IT companies, and basically every single innovation related to the IT, sales, marketing, R&D, wherever, usually born in Silicon Valley. Not always, but usually. So let's proceed. So basically, what is the sales? I'm pretty sure every single person in this room been involved into the sales process over the lifetime, actually daily. We are buying products, we are buying food, we are buying vacation, everything, right? Sometimes we are selling stuff, like we are selling used cars or, I don't know, something. Sometimes we are actually selling and buying ideas, or this one or that one. Okay, sometimes we are selling or buying ideas, right? It's like you're coming to your supervisor and trying to sell him your vision. It's again sales process, but it's probably extreme example. So normally sales is a process of exchanging goods and services for the money. Now, when we are talking about sales, and probably it's very natural that this deck goes right after the deck about the marketing, because when we are talking about sales, normally we are talking about marketing. Those two are very connected. And basically, you could hardly define the border where marketing ends and where sales starts. It's like you're doing lead generation, you're building the equity, you are engaging with the customer, and all this during the marketing process. And then probably you are lucky enough and you are closing the deal. And right at that moment, you are asking your newly acquired customer to do the introduction or reference to somebody who may also benefit from your solution. So it's like marketing, then sales, and then marketing again. And that's why I would say sales and marketing are two parts of one organism, of one mechanism, and they should work together, and they do work together. And I said it's pretty much about the deal. Deal is not where everything starts, it's not where everything ends. It's just a checkpoint, right? It's just a process, and deal is just one of the checkpoints. Now, you probably have noticed that some sales guys are more successful than other sales guys. Sometimes it can be stripped down to the education or qualifications or skills, and sometimes it's just the reason for that is some personal characteristics of this particular representative. So you can say that probably sales is a little bit of an art. However, all through the process, you should be measuring the results with the numbers. So it's the art that can be measured with the numbers, and there will be always KPIs, like you will be talking about customer lifetime value, customer acquisition cost, customer retention cost, and you will always be measuring those and trying to improve what should be improved. And basically, that's endless process of improving your results and effectiveness. Now, since we're talking about IT sales, just since I've been concerned with IT sales mostly, probably some few words about the characteristics of IT sales and what is the difference, and if there is a difference between just real economy sector sales and IT sales. Now, just for your information, every single slide of this presentation can be the basis for the separate presentation. Luckily, that won't happen right now. As well as you can find books related to almost every single topic I'll be covering during the presentation. It will be very hard within 15 minutes to cover such a comprehensive material. It's like neurosurgery for dummies. Teach yourself neurosurgery in 15 minutes. It's impossible, but I'll try my best, at least to provide high-level overview of these things. So, IT sales are pretty much like normal sales, ordinal sales. Some characteristics that worth mentioning would be, first of all, we will be talking about consulting sales. It means we are not used cars dealers, we are not trying to push sale, and we are not trying to sell our stuff to the customer at any cost. Rather, we are trying to help the customer solve their problem and build the relationship of trust, which includes the situation if you are 100% sure that your customer will be better off with the solution of your competitor. Feel free to lose this customer to your competitor, but save the relationship, because good relationship will always pay back eventually. So consulting sales, now inside sales as the business model, which is most effective business model for the IT or technology company. I'll tell several words about what is inside sales later on, but this whole presentation will be dedicated to the inside sales, pretty much. And now if we talk about IT company, we always talk about automation. We tend to be automating every single aspect of our business. We are trying to use any kind of software, any tool, sometimes over-automated. And of course, high level of customer readiness and high level of customer education level. So your customers are professionals, they know what they want, and they will be expecting the same level of professionalism from your representatives, and they will never buy anything from somebody who is not as good educated and as good on top of the stuff as they are. But otherwise, IT sales, just the sales, just same philosophy, same process, same ideas. Now, you can divide the sales into two main groups. Probably there will be another approach here, but I tend to use this one. It's very easy, so direct or indirect. So indirect is when you are using the middleman of any kind. Indirect is when during the process you are using the services of channel, value-added resellers, distributors. And direct is when you are doing pretty much everything on your own. You are doing lead generation, you are doing lead nurturing, and then you are doing the sale. Again, direct sales can be divided on two main groups. It's inside sales model, which is the subject of this presentation. And I would say direct. It's like you are doing the sale with the expensive representatives who are visiting the customer at their premises, running real life meetings, etc. This model can be suitable for big businesses. This model works for the deals over hundreds of thousands US dollars or millions US dollars. But normally we would be building inside sales team and start with inside sales. It's just a lean way to start your business. At some point you will be using the channel because there is no way you can reach out to any single potential customer without the middleman, but that will happen later. For now, it's inside sales. So when we're talking about inside sales, there are some buzzwords, some hype words, but they mean quite interesting concepts. So it's inbound marketing. You are doing lead generation, and you are using your website as a tool where you convert your visitors into your prospects. Basically, you are getting the information from your visitors, like their personal data, etc. And that's how the fun begins. That's how your sales team can start working with the prospects. Now, the whole process of the sale can be called lead nurturing. Lead nurturing is the process where you are engaging with the customer and walking customer all the way through the beginning till the end, which hopefully will be successful sale. And you're kind of babysitting the customer or nurturing the customer. Again, it's a comprehensive process. There are special techniques, there are special approaches. Very much the process depends on the industry, on what kind of stuff you are selling, etc. And also, since we're talking about lean model, about cost-effective business model, cost-effective approach to the sales, of course, effectiveness would be the key word as well. So, two main challenges. By the way, we're approaching middle of the presentation. So it's just 7 minutes more and I'm done. So two main tasks every single salesperson is challenged with would be, first is you need to be selling, you need to be closing, you need to be effective closer. Every time, every moment you need to be working with your prospects, with your opportunities, and you need to be closing the deals. And at the same time, you need to be very concerned with your pipeline, because sales are actually function of the pipeline. So you need to be closing the deals, and at the same time you need to be working with your leads, with people who may be eventually your opportunities and then may eventually buy something from you. And that's a challenge. That's why normally in the sales organization and sales department of the modern company, we would be talking about sales teams. So it's a teamwork. So a normal team would consist of several roles, of several people. We would have account executive, somebody who actually closes the deals. We would have sales development representative, person who actually concerned with the pipeline and talking to the people, engaging with prospects and trying to build that relationship of trust I was mentioning before. We would also talk about associates who would help to do data mining, for instance. On LinkedIn, we may need to find more information about prospect. We could also utilize the power of call center, for instance, for the tasks that are related to sales, but not directly related, like running pools, gathering some intelligence, asking questions, etc. Probably we would also use power of engineers, because we are talking about IT sales, and as I mentioned before, the level of the potential customer is very high, and that's why customers expect the same level from the sales representative. Either you need to invest a lot into your sales guy to be a successful seller, to be on top of the technology, or they can work in pair with the sales engineer. That's something we are doing in our company. We tend to hire just ordinary guys and girls who speak good English, and we are not trying to get them up to speed with the technology. Well, up to some extent, yes, but not too deep. And for the deep stuff, we have our engineers, and those teams work together, and that's how magic happens. Okay, so the funnel is the main word for the sales process. You've probably seen this picture of the funnel. This is kind of a map, kind of a path the customer undergoing within your sales organization, from the raw lead position or role to the actual deal, closed won or closed lost. So on every single level of every step, there is a lot of work done by different people. For instance, from the beginning, you're doing marketing activities to qualify your raw leads, and then lead becomes marketing qualified lead. It means that potentially, only potentially, this particular person may have interest in your solution. You keep doing marketing activities with that person until he or she becomes sales accepted lead. This means already you have established the communication line with the prospect. You are talking, and there may be a need, a business need, from this person to buy your solution. Now, there is a good magic shortening called BANTL. Basically, BANTL stands for budget, authority, need, location, and timeline. If all the answers are positive, then your sales accepted lead may become the opportunity. And from this moment, account executive is trying to be closing the deal. There was a very good movie about sales process. Don't remember the name, unfortunately.
Always be closing.
Always be closing, right. So it was a little bit too much, but then again, you can see those pictures at the last day of every single month. Like, it's crazy situation. Just funny stuff in our company. Last year, we closed 25% of yearly revenue in December. Normally, we don't like this to happen, because it's better to run the business when you can rely on some statistics and you know what you can anticipate, but then again, sometimes it happens. So Then opportunity will be either closed won, which means you closed the deal and you got the money, or closed lost. But even you lost the customer, even if you couldn't complete and close the deal, statistics show that with the right approach, up to 70% of your loss may return to your company and buy something from you in the next year. So lost is not lost, actually. It's not an end. It's just the beginning of the new process, new lead nurturing. You should be reaching out, should be talking to your already lost customer and try to maintain the relationship. And one day, who knows, maybe you will be able to help this person by selling them your product, which is a good thing. So yeah, well, basically, I'm referring to the beginning of the presentation when I was saying that sales is an art, however, art measured, carefully measured by the numbers. And that's why it's very important to have right KPIs for your team. And you should be always checking how the team working and improving the processes or fixing them. So there will be monetary KPIs, of course, quotas, revenues. For account executives, you would be looking at the numbers of actual sales revenues. However, also non-monetary KPIs like ratios, for instance, you would be measuring number of wants to number of opportunities for your account executives, or number of opportunities to number of sales qualified leads for your sales development representatives. So you always measure, you have a lot of dashboards, you have a lot of statistics. It's a good place where big data works. You would be using Salesforce or Zoho or some other CRM system. Actually, I have the similar system on all my devices, including smartphone, smartwatch, computer. So when you're driving a car, you can easily check how the process is going, especially in our company. It's like 70% of our sales are happening in the United States. So our office is never closed. We have several shifts and people keep working during the night. We also have the team in the US, however, several people from Ukraine also selling to the US market. So it's always fun. When you wake up during the night, you can check out how your people working in the company, and it's always fun. Sometimes you just start checking out the numbers and you can never go back to sleep. Okay, takeaways, which means we're close. So again, sales and marketing, the blurring border, those two topics are very related to each other and very, very close. Inside sales, as effective sales model for any startup, especially IT company, now teamwork and specialization, monetary and non-monetary KPIs, and of course it's very important, you should be learning. They say every single person in the organization reaches the point of the own non-competency. So to be competent, to understand what's going on, especially if the business is growing and challenges are growing and tasks are becoming more and more complex, you need to be reading, you need to be following best practices, and you need to implement those best practices within your organization. Well, that's a few words about me. No one cares. And a few words about my company, you care even less. But nevertheless, our company is one of very few at the moment examples of the product company with Ukrainian roots, which successfully operates on global markets. And basically, we're building a multi-million company. And well, hopefully, it will be a big success story. It is already, but hopefully it will be even bigger success at the end of the day. Thank you. Questions?